Hey everyone, welcome back to my workbench. So spent a little time researching how to connect up this controller port. The biggest problem I'm running into right now is everything is from like 2012, so everything's 8 years old, and there's a bunch of missing images of schematics, so it makes it a little bit of a challenge. I did find this online and I'll show you what it all means. This chip, sorry about the ridiculously large image, but anyway, uh, this chip is the decoder chip that's used in 6-button Genesis controllers. So all I really had, I knew these I/O lines are basically correspond to the lines on a well, pin 1 through, you get pin 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 6, and 9 on the DB9. And what you get is all I had to do is figure out pin 5 is a 5-volt line and 8 is the ground. How these work is this is actually a multiplexer chip. So what happens is um, as the as you press the buttons on the controller, you'll notice that there's a lot more. I mean, you have, let's see, you got like 1, 2, 3, you got 11 inputs, but you only have 9 wires for outputs because you got up, down, left, right, A, B, C. I think it's 1, 2, 3. I can't remember what the exact number it is. And then you have start and select. Sorry, mode on the top. Um, so how in the world do you get that many buttons out of it? Well, a lot of systems, including like the Super Nintendo, even the original Nintendo, Sega, all used multiplexer chips. NEC used them too. Multiplexer chips to allow to have more signals come out than you have lines. So it's not a one-to-one. So the key is this select pin here. It's on pin 7. So what happens is you might think you're hitting the button instantly, but you're not. There's a this pin is always cycling through. I think it's like every 30. No, I think it's even quicker. I think it's like every 12 milliseconds it cycles through. So not nothing any human would ever notice, but it's actually pulling these out I/O pins here. So when you press a button, well, like the exception is up, down, left, right, and B and C are 1-to-1, but all the rest of the buttons are kind of multiplexed out. So when you press A or mode or start or 1, 2, 3, those will be interpreted as multiplexed pins. So depending on the state of the select pin here, it tells the Genesis, okay, am I pressing, because it's going to be using the same line as, say, I think that like the B uses the same as 1, or so I forget which, or up, or I forget which one it is, but it's the scheme is it keeps cycling through, and when you press a button that's not one of the basically the 4 directions and 2 buttons like a master system, if it's not one of those, then it'll know from the select pin what you're actually pressing. Kind of neat, actually. So it allows you to get a lot of outputs with very few lines. The only problem is you need to use a multiplexer chip. This is actually Sega specific. Otherwise, you have to use 274. Oh, I can't remember the part number of it. It's a standard multiplexer chip that like everyone else uses in their system. So, I'm going to start working on. I couldn't find any ribbon IDC cable, so let's start working on a couple wires here and see if I can get my little extra helping hand here. Coming in on kind of neat. If you're doing this kind of solder work, this is a cool tip. It's a curved tip, so it lets you get in at an angle. Kind of neat, actually. Let's see if I can get in here. I'm going to add a touch more solder. The only warning I saw was pull up pin 24 here, so I probably end up doing that just to see if that helps or not. I'm kind of tempted to see where it ends up on this end and just pull up this 24 pin. Let's see if I can get in and pull up that 24. Turn down my iron a little bit. It's nice always have an adjustable iron so you can, if you're applying too much heat, you can dial it back. I don't want to stay on these pins very long because I don't want to overheat it. Let's see if I can pry up underneath this one here. It might be under it. Let's take a look. Yeah, I think almost all the solder's out there. Let's take a look a little closer. I'm working on pin 24 there. Let's see if I can pry that one up. Just a hair. This way, if that recommendation was wrong, I can go in and repair it. Yeah, it's off. Okay, it's off that pad. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'll start on the end here. 3 up. I do have these tinned already. Give me a little more room to work with here. So I chose a cable which would be long enough to, regardless, I'll be able to put it anywhere in the case. 1, 2, 3 pins up. Yeah, a little extra solder there. Just a touch. See if I can get in there. Oh, also, thank you everyone for your support and the praise. I really do appreciate it. I mean, it's kind of, in the end, this all started out as a hobby of mine. It still is, really. This is not a full-time thing for me. And my goal has never been to, say, like, wipe out people who do this for a living. Because keep my prices are not the cheapest, because I don't want to wipe out the people who actually have to live off of this income. That would be a shame. This is 7, so skip over 2. So it's 9, 8, 7, and then 6 is the next pin, actually. Yeah, I actually wrote a note for myself. Watch out for pin swaps, because they jumped around a little bit. Let's see if there's enough solder on here. Pretty good tack on that one. Yeah, that's fine. And then 7. 7 is here. 6, 7, 7, 8, 9. 7's the next pin. It jumps around. Yeah, I always thought it was kind of neat how the Sega and other companies came up with a way to multiplex the chips. Need a little more solder on this one. luckily, my eyes are still good enough that I can do this without magnification. Because I'm not actually looking at the screen, I'm just looking at the problem with, I found with all doing, unless I use the stereo microscope, that little tiny bit of lag off of the electronic cameras is just makes it really hard to solder. So, yeah, this is still 7. Get my hand over here to keep us from flopping around too much. I don't think I'm going to get this all done tonight, but at least get a start on it. Bend that back a little bit. That's the hard part. You don't want to move it too soon, because what happens, you either have a cold solder joint or it just won't adhere at all. I don't like that much solder on there. Clean that up a little bit. Take you off a minute. Resolder you. Messy looking. I'm a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to this stuff. I like doing it, so I can barely tell. I was flipping around in here. Let me grab my scope. It's hard to see. Oop. Erectile dysfunction here. Oh. Get out there. It's driving me mad someday. Alright. Back to work. So I'm going to keep soldering along here. It's kind of hard to talk and do these solder joints that are 2.5 millimeters apart. So just a quick one tonight. I'll jump back later once I get these soldered in place and turn the Nomad back on to make sure I didn't break anything. And then I'll solder up the other end with the DB9. So thanks for watching for now. I might splice in another video here, or I might just jump tomorrow night. Just a quick one for tonight. It's already been almost 14 minutes. So I'm going to keep working on this and get some more solder joints done. Thanks for watching.